In prison, time doesn't move the same. Days feel like years and years feel like forever. Behind these walls are men serving life, some serving 3, gang leaders, killers, survivors, men the world forgot, but whose stories refuse to die. This is not Hollywood. No scripts, no heroes, just raw truth from some of the most dangerous prisons on earth. Stay tuned for our next exciting video on true prison stories with me, your host, Panama Red.
A major bust just went down involving longtime Memero Salvatore Cricnania from Rancho San Pedro. Over a dozen people were arrested yesterday, Tuesday, October 7th, 2025, on charges of selling drugs, possession of illegal weapons, and collecting protection money in the harbor area where RSP is located, and other crimes. Hook is currently housed at Calipatria. California State Prison Centinela is located in Imperial County, not far from the Mexican border. It is approximately 20 miles away from the cities of Imperial and El Centro, where I did a short 1-month special duty tracking on radar what would later become known as smart bombs during the Gulf War. But at the time I helped test them, they were not very accurate, so we called them dumb bombs. Centinela is located on approximately 2,000 acres, consisting of a level 4 GP yard, 2 level 3 GP yards, and 1 level 3 sensitive needs yards, although I thought they were doing away with those and reintegrating all SNYs with general population. If you just got out of Centinela, let me know if that is true. As of 2020, Centinela was incarcerating people at approximately 142% above capacity design, but I think that number has been reduced in the last few years. I believe Hector Bravo from that prison guard's dad worked at the facility when he first started his career. Hector has quite the sense of humor and has some good stories on his show. He has also spoken on my channel as well as several other channels like Lad TV about his experiences working at Centinela. As far as any beef between me and Hector that a few people have asked me about, we're all good as far as I know. We don't always agree on everything, but we do agree on a lot of things. He has his views and I have mine. Grew up in Yakima, Seattle. Was a non-combat Marine pre-Gulf War in the Tactical Air Command Center, where there was often more brass than enlisted. I served 2 years at 29 Palms, 1 at Camp Pendleton, where I was pulled for that El Centro special assignment, and my final year, I served in Okinawa, where I also did a 2-month stint in South Korea for Operation Team Spirit. Hector is from Brole, in the Imperial Valley, where Centinela Prison is located. He did Army combat duty overseas. Self-admits that he had post-traumatic stress disorder and a drinking problem, but was able to get sober. He talks about this often on his shows. We all have our demons. He worked in a different time period in CDC than me. He came after me, and I think would agree things have gone downhill in that organization and violence has gone up in recent years. Much of that chalked up to new policies of administrators. I was lucky that I had a very strong and fair boss working under Folsom Warden Borg. Even most convicts respected him. When I was working at New Folsom from 1987 to 93, we didn't have pepper spray issued to us or some of the things they have available today. We had side-handled batons, which many officers did not carry. We had radios and alarms, which many also did not carry. You had to have good communication skills at that time, or you could get your ass kicked. We had Mini 14s for the yard and HK9s for inside the units, if we had to use them. Tasers were available, but only for lieutenants or acting lieutenant sergeants who were authorized to use those. Hector started off as a COO and became a sergeant, later a lieutenant. After moving back to my home state of Washington, I started off as an officer at the King County Jail, then transferred into the classification section, and many years later did a short stint as lieutenant at an ICE processing center in Tacoma. Like I said, we're different people, served in different places, and had different roles. When it comes to the MANF, Aryan Brotherhood, or Black Guerrilla family, I think I have above average knowledge, having dealt with many of them and having read hundreds of debriefs, what can sometimes contradict what others say. I'm always learning, looking at the big picture. I understand how manipulative some of these guys can be, but I try to get a consensus. Try not to let my biases get the best of me. I was schooled by some of the best gang investigators in the business, but do occasionally make mistakes. For instance, in one of my videos, somebody pointed out that William Flaco Vic, who I became well aware of way back when he had a K number, when he was a Nuestra Raza messenger, and who many years later I interviewed for a couple of videos on this channel, communicated with many times via email, and spoke directly with on the phone several times before he fell off again, was from Barrio Mas Loco, not Barrio Mas Chingon in Milpitas, just out of San Jose. We talked at length many times about his life, and I've documented thousands of gangsters from hundreds of other gangs.
That's the message. These stories show you the real deal. Stay out of trouble. Stay free.